Hi, and welcome to Podcast. I'm Lewis, and today I'm joined by Sara, a director and digital marketing strategist here at AlphaQuad. Sara, it's lovely to have you on. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I've got a series of questions to ask you today. This is just kind of a nice conversation as a getting to know you sort of thing. So I just wanted to start with quite a easy question. When did you join AlphaQuad?
So I started in January 2012.
Oh my Lord.
So I've been here a while.
That's when I was in year 10 at school at the time.
Now I feel old.
Oh no, you're not old. That's what is it about AlphaQuad that's made you stay for so long? That seems like quite a bizarre question, but I think that's something about AlphaQuad is the fact that all of the staff has been here for so long. And I think, what is it for you that makes this such an appealing workplace?
I think it's and it's really nice that you know the people that you work with so well because we've all been here for such a long time. But also the variety of work that we do is really good. So you never have 2 days that are the same. And there's always lots to learn. And it's just a really nice environment to work in. Everyone really supports each other and everyone's really helpful. And obviously since having children and things as well, the flexibility and support that the team gives is really useful and valuable. And I've just never felt that I wanted to be working anywhere else.
Oh, that's lovely. I mean, I've been here just because I joined around this time last year. So to have gone from my role, which is the easiest in the company, to all of a sudden I'm doing a podcast for the company is it is a really supportive environment. And I completely agree with that. I think that's something that is going to be quite unanimous in everybody's answers. It definitely is a really lovely place to work. And obviously, I mentioned at the start of this, director and digital marketing strategist. So how has your role changed? Because I imagine you didn't come in straight as a director.
No, I didn't, funnily enough. I started as a digital exec role. So kind of the entry-level role that most people start at all those years ago. And then kind of worked my way up. So after I'd been here a few years, the account manager that I worked with left. And so I took that account management role. And then as I'd got more and more experience working with different clients and working on different accounts, I took on the strategy role and started working more across multiple clients with multiple account managers and helping to kind of start the projects off, look at what we should be doing for them, how we should be doing it, and making sure that once we started implementing it, it was working as we planned. When it wasn't working, what we should do differently. And then most recently, back in December of this year or January, I became a director.
Oh, congratulations.
Really,
I mean, that is a huge, that's a huge thing. I remember at the time when it was I think they announced it at the Christmas meal. And I think I just immediately went to, Queen of the Office.
Totally Queen of the Office.
Which is quite a nice thing to have because you are such an inherently lovely person to work with and just generally to know anyway. So it's nice when someone can be she's a director, but she's so good at her job that I'm not at all jealous of that. I mean, not that I would be jealous because I've only been here for so many months, but it's really lovely. And it's just great to see that you are so valued because you are so fantastic.
It shows the career progression as well, that you can start right at the beginning, but when you stay loyal and stick around and learn and do well at the job, then you will progress. Yeah,
exactly. And I think it's part and parcel with any job role really at any company, but again, specifically AlphaQuad, it is a very supportive environment. So I feel like I've said it's a supportive environment far too many times, but it's
but
just,
it is.
It is. I think that's it. You know, if the worst thing that you can say about your job is they're too supportive, it's yeah. So we were talking off mic earlier, and this is the first podcast that you've ever recorded.
It is.
Outside of anything, regardless of work or personal life. So I have to ask, are you excited about this?
I am super excited about the Quadcast. I think it's really, at AlphaQuad, one of the main things that we wanted to start trying to do a bit more was we've got a really established team. We've got a lot of knowledge across a lot of different areas, but we don't really get that out very well. So we wanted to start doing the Quadcast to actually showcase what it is that we know, but also who we are, so that people can see who's working on their projects, because that's the other really great thing about having a team that have all worked together for a really long time. For a client, is that they're not going to have staff changing or needing to re-explain what it is that they do or relearn their industry. because we've worked with them for a long time as well. I've had clients that I've been working with now for like 9 or 10 years. And so I think that's a really valuable thing. But it's quite insular at the moment. So I'm hoping the Quadcast will help us project AlphaQuad out to everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll say since all of the lockdowns, I think that has been quite a thing for a lot of companies, and money's not exactly free flowing right now, is it? So, but I think that something about AlphaQuad is, and digital marketing agencies as a whole, is your clients can be up and down the country. They could be in another country for, I think this is going to be a really nice way to be able to actually get to know us.
Yeah, definitely.
Personally, which is kind of the purpose of doing these one-on-one interviews with everybody, because I don't want anybody to kind of get lost in the mix, because I think here everybody is as important as one another, and I don't want anybody to feel like they're not, I don't know, getting their voices out, or kind of communicating who they are best to their clients or to any listeners. That's why it's quite important to me. And I think you answered my next question already, and I think now is the right time for us to start this podcast and just kind of bring us into the 2020s quite nicely.
Yeah.
Even though we're nearly midway through, but it's better late than never.
Exactly.
And so, obviously, having worked here for over a decade, I wonder what kind of industries and job experience had you had previously that you were able to bring across when you started at AlphaQuad? Because, surely you had a great deal of job experience. And what was it about a marketing agency that made you go, I want to go and do that?
Yeah. So before I worked at AlphaQuad, I worked at a publisher's for about 7 years. So again, I sort of started at an entry-level role and then worked my way up to being a production manager. So I took the books from an author coming in with a manuscript to turning it into a printed, most of them were sort of business management books, but there was some sort of self-help and well-being books and things as well. So I picked up a lot of proofreading skills. I actually did a proofreading course as part of that role that obviously I could bring into the copywriting side of this job. But also I think the process of taking something from like a starting point and bringing it all the way to sort of being a finished product is something that transfers across from publishing to marketing quite easily as well. But the one thing I really did like about moving into a digital role was that mistakes are easier to replace. So for example, with a book, if you miss a typo, it's there in all of the printed copies. Whereas with working with web and digital, you can change things really easily. You can adapt things really easily. If something changes in the industry, then you haven't got 10,000 books that are all now out of date. You can change your website instantly, and all of a sudden it reflects what's happening at the time.
Yeah. Although I suppose, happy accidents can occur, I suppose, in the publishing industry if there's a typo. Like, I think it was an initial pressing of the first Harry Potter book. You could sell that for about £15,000 because there was a typo on like the third page.
Yeah.
Or something ridiculous like that, where all of a sudden all of these copies of all of these nearly 20-plus-year-old books are just like worth massive amounts of money, which happy accident, I suppose, but also at the time, bit of a gamble. That's great. I think I just offhandedly, are you a big reader?
I am. I did English at university, so I used to read a lot more, but I do still like to read sometimes, although now that I've got children, it tends to be more children's books. But
yeah. Well, I suppose there's nothing wrong with reading the Gruffalo on a Friday evening.
Exactly.
Who doesn't love the Gruffalo?
Definitely. Nothing better to read.
Exactly. Moving back into AlphaQuad, has there been a certain type of industry that you've really enjoyed working with? Whether, not necessarily any companies, but specific sort of sectors or industries?
Yeah, so one of the really good things about AlphaQuad is we do work across a wide range of industries, but I think the leisure industry is the one that I liked working with the most. So we did a lot with sort of campsites, holidays, that kind of thing. So that was always really nice to work with. And that kind of more inspirational type of industries where there's a lot more that you can do with the content. Yeah,
they are definitely a lot more fun to work with. I think it's nice on like both a personal and a professional level because it's more there's more to write about, but it's also this like level of aspiration where you think, oh, a holiday.
Like to go there.
Oh, I'd love to go there. And that's a nice thing to have. So I find that like clients that we've had where we're looking at pictures of food, or cake or just anything, it's just, A, it makes you hungry, B, it's like, how can I get this? And I mean, that's just a sign in and of itself of a good marketing strategy, but that to me is quite impactful. Something I did want to ask, we're not going to talk about any industries that you haven't enjoyed working with specifically, but is there anything that you found challenging?
I think the most challenging thing is how quickly things can change. And so you think that you've kind of got a good plan in place and everything's going well and all the results are moving in the right direction. And then all of a sudden something kind of happens that you didn't know was going to happen or didn't expect to happen, like an algorithm update or something like that. And then all of a sudden you have to kind of adapt and work out what you can do differently, which is why it's so important to keep actually looking at data and analysing results, so that, because there's always going to be downturns. I mean, obviously overall what we're aiming to do is improve everything for clients, but it's not possible all the time. And so I think the key thing is that when something does sort of take a downturn, is finding it as quickly as possible, working out why and what's changed, and then how to sort of change that back again.
Yeah, definitely. I think data and statistics are a huge part of what we do, and obviously we're looking to make our clients as happy as possible, and they want to see that their conversions are coming in, and they want to see that the results that we've effectively promised them are happening. And we have a pretty good success rate, I feel like.
We wouldn't have clients lasting for as long as they do if we didn't. But
well, exactly. That speaks for itself. A statistic that we have in the office here at AlphaQuad, this is only a very recent statistic, but we've coined the BDL, which is the biscuit drawer level, which segues me into, I think, the single most important question that anyone might ask you today. Sarah, what is your favourite biscuit and how important are they to your workday?
Well, there's a reason why the biscuit drawer is at my desk.
Yeah.
They are definitely, AlphaQuad is powered by biscuits.
Yeah.
My favourite biscuit is really tricky. I'm going to say a chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
But the best thing is if there's like 4 or 5 different types of biscuits, so you can have one of each.
That is very true. The biscuit drawer at the minute is stocked. It is to the brim.
It is a really well-stocked biscuit drawer right now.
Yeah. The BDL is like, I would say, a 7 out of 10 at the moment.
That's only because we've eaten quite a few in the last day.
We have eaten quite a lot this week. But I think that like it helps us get through the day.
Definitely.
You know, it's a little, if you need a little pick-me-up, have a biscuit.
Yeah. I usually have
yourself.
3 before anyone else gets here, just so that no one judges how many biscuits I'm eating.
Sarah, we could never judge how many biscuits you eat. You've seen the amount of food that I can eat in a day. It's just obscene. So who am I to judge? And this segues me then into the next biscuit-related question. If you were a biscuit, what would you be and why?
John asked me this question in my interview, and I answered that I would be a chocolate digestive because digestives are dependable and reliable, but the chocolate gives it something extra and a bit of additional creativity that I like to think that I also bring.
Yeah, you definitely do. You absolutely definitely do.
So I'm going to stick with the same answer.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Who doesn't... I think like a chocolate digestive is the single most like universal biscuit, because who doesn't love a chocolate digestive?
Definitely. I might change it now to one of the chocolate chip digestives though, because they're even better than a regular chocolate digestive.
Oh yeah, they are good. They are nice. It was a really nice surprise when Sue brought those in the other day.
It was. I can't believe she won't let me open them till I finish the bourbons.
Well, that was actually my judgment call. That was, I think my quote to you was no chocolate chip cookies until you finished your bourbons.
I'm working on it. I reckon by mid-afternoon I'll be done.
Yeah, by mid-afternoon. It's 12:20 at time of recording, so you've got 2 more hours until you head off to pick up the kids. So
I can do it. I can finish a pack of bourbons.
And Sarah, this just brings me on to my last question of the day. Everything, anytime you turn on your television, there's a marketing campaign. Anytime you turn your phone on, anytime you go on your laptop, you are encountered by a marketing campaign. Can you think of any marketing campaigns, whether it be for a film that's coming out, or a drinks brand, or anything, and just anything at all that is totally unrelated to AlphaQuad, that you've either been impressed by or completely let down by? And you don't have to answer both, but...
Impressed by is, I would say, the Coca-Cola advert that comes out at Christmas.
The holidays are coming.
Holidays are coming.
Yeah.
Because they don't even seem to change it. I think they must have run the same advert for years and years and years. But it's so iconic that as soon as you just hear the first little bit of the music, you know exactly what the advert is. Yeah. And it makes you feel like Christmas is coming. It
does. I think that's the one thing that's dependable every single year, is that when the Coca-Cola advert comes on, the holidays are coming.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a brilliant advert. It absolutely is fantastic. And it is one that I look forward to every year. And I don't remember actually seeing it in 2023. I don't know about you. I don't remember seeing it.
I did see it. It did come on. It doesn't seem as prominent anymore.
No. It used to be every time you turn the telly on. It always used to be for me when I was younger. It would be, I knew it was nearly Christmas time when the X Factor live show started and the Coca-Cola advert was on. And those two things combined, I was like, it's Christmas. It's nearly time. And when you'd start hearing Mariah Carey everywhere.
Yeah.
Those are the three things for me. Sarah, I think that just about wraps us up for this. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know that this is, this is one of the first that we're going to be recording for this podcast, and I really appreciate you being one of our first guests. And this is really fun and really exciting, and I can't wait to have you back on.
Thank you. Can't wait to listen.
Brilliant. Thanks so much for listening, everyone. Look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.